Okay. All right. Good evening. Good evening. It was very quiet. Now it's going to be a little more, it's going to be louder in here now. It is April 21st, 2025. Welcome to our city council meeting. I hope everyone had a wonderful Easter holiday. Hopefully you had a good time with the family. We're going to start off this meeting with the invocation and pledge. Councilmember Evans.
This invocation will be taken from In Touch Ministries April magazine. If you would like, please join me in prayer. Father, when people around us are rushing, help us move peacefully through the day. When anger and division lay siege to our conversations, help us speak gentle, healing words. When headlines increase the panic in others' hearts, help us remain calm and be moved to compassion. When we're tempted to ignore people on the margins, help us not to forget anyone. When our personal circumstances leave us anxious, help us breathe. May we be filled with your peace, and may it change the world. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Where's Chief? I knew you just pop up. We don't even say anything anymore. I love it. So Chief's going to give us the oath of office for Lieutenant Davis, Lilly. And Officer Moore. Well, I was going from one to the next, Chief. You're just jumping ahead. I love it.
So I noticed we have, I'm assuming, part of a class in the room. So just for everybody's edification, here at the City of Clemson, when we hire new officers and or promote officers, we have them take their oath in front of council because they are stewards of the community, and it's their pledge to adhere to their constitutional duties as well as our policies and procedures, etc. So I will introduce both officers. First, I will introduce Officer Moore. Officer Moore was born and raised in Anderson. He graduated high school and served 4 years in the Army active duty. After that, he started his law enforcement career in Anderson County with the Sheriff's Office. He left the Sheriff's Office and worked for AdMed for about a year and a half, where he was a canine handler, and decided to come to Clemson to continue his career. He's married with 2 children, a 4-year-old son and a 1.5-year-old daughter. Does your wife make it? Okay, she's taking an exam, so she has an excuse. So that is Officer Moore. And then we have Lieutenant Davis. Lieutenant Davis is a 2-time graduate of Tri-County Technical College. She has an associate's degree in industrial technology with a major in radio and television broadcasting. And then her second degree is public service with a major in criminal justice. Although I still can't convince her to do the media stuff, but anyway. She started her law enforcement career in 2007 at the City of Walhalla Police Department, where she then transitions to the Clemson Police Department in 2013. While she was at Clemson, she served in the rank as Master Patrol Officer and then Patrol Sergeant. When she was an MPO, she was out at Clemson Elementary for a decent amount of time. That's where everybody knows her from. And then went to the road shortly after that. She was selected as our accreditation manager. She was affectionately dubbed the policy princess, and then when someone else left the department, then she got promoted to policy queen. So when she comes looking for a proof or something like that, everybody knows she's all business, and they need to get it to her. She serves on the crisis negotiation team, and I know you were on the tactical team for a brief period of time, and then unfortunately we had to disband it. So she did pass the physical qualifications and shooting qualifications to be on that team, which is a pretty difficult thing to do for a lot of folks. So that's Lieutenant Davis. All right. So if both of you would come closer, we will do your oath. code of ethics. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you are duly qualified according to the Constitution of this state to exercise the duties of the office to which you've been appointed, and that you will, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties thereof and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and of the United States, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And we are going to recite the law enforcement code of ethics, which you will agree to at the end. You will agree to at the end, okay. All right. As a law enforcement officer, your fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. You will keep your private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to you or your agency. You will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others, honest in thought and deed, both in your personal and official life. You will be exemplary in obeying the law and regulations of the department. Whatever you see or hear in a confidential nature or that is confided in you in your official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of your duty. You will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence your decisions. With no compromise for crime and with the relentless prosecution of criminals, you will enforce the law courteously and appropriately without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. You recognize the badge of your office as a symbol of public faith, and that you accept it as a public trust to be held so long as you are true to the ethics of police service. You will never engage in acts of corruption or bribery, nor will you condone such acts by other officers. You will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. You know that you alone are responsible for your own standard of professional performance and will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve your level of knowledge and competence. You will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating yourself before God and your chosen profession, law enforcement. Do you agree with these statements? Very good. Okay, so now we are on to pictures. Congratulations. One thing I forgot to say, Lieutenant Davis is now the second female lieutenant the department has ever had. The first lieutenant was back in the 80s, and we had one female that was above the rank of lieutenant. She skipped it and went up to major, but she is the second, so congratulations. Together, and then we'll do individuals, and then families can take their pictures. And I am not the social.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
I direct traffic well. I don't direct people well.
Congratulations, thank you. Congratulations, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're tall ones in the back.
You guys stay in the middle.
Okay,
All right.
there you go.
That works.
Any family? Family can come up closer.
Family, when you come up, we leave.
Yeah,
We
we
bark.
leave.
We bark when the family.
Yeah, congratulations.
You're good? Go back up there. No, you're going back up there. And your family can come up here.
And we'll wait for your speech too.
Who has a phone they want us to take a picture with?
We'll share it from my mom's here.
Thank you, sir.
Upright or silent?
Upright's great.
Really shorter than.
There we go. Whoa. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7.
Thank you. Thank y'all so very much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes, but it's
Thank you, Chief.
time of year for school to be out.
Always a nice way to start. We appreciate it. All right, we good. All right. So next, public session. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yep, we're going to open the floor for public session. This is a chance for anybody in attendance to make comments about items that are not already on the agenda. If you would like to make comments about items that are on the agenda, you're welcome to do so when we reach that point in the meeting. And note there is a 3-minute time limit per speaker. So the floor is the public's. And Jeremiah let me know that we did not have any submitted online to read out, so thank you. Last call for public comment.
I can see all the students in the back wanting to come up and talk. I'm just playing, just playing, just playing.
Okay, all you, Mayor.
All right. All right, next is a report, well, first, the possible approval of minutes from April 7th meeting, 2025. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of April 7th, 2025.
Second.
Comments, discussion, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Next is the reports and discussion. First is a received report from Robin and Dale Maddox, the Miss Clemson Pageant Board of Directors. I don't know who's coming up first, Dale or Robin? Okay, all right,
Robin's not coming.
okay,
I texted.
Robin's here by accident.
okay. Well, she's here for support. I like it. Love it.
Well, I'm Dale Maddox. I'm the co-chairman and co-director of the Miss Clemson Scholarship Program. And again, thank you all for everything you do for our organization. You definitely help empower these young women who have the opportunity to serve Clemson, and we're so proud. In my 39-year history with the Miss America organization, I'm glad to say that we've had Miss Clemson between the team and the Miss title since we formed this, back in 2015, to win 6 times. So we've got a good track record, and I think that's something we're going to carry on. We go back and maybe paint the state of South Carolina orange 2 years in a row with these young ladies that we have with us today. So I'd like to introduce you now to our Miss Clemson. If she would come up, this is Lillian Linwood. And then we have our Miss Clemson team, and this is Madison McKinney. And I'm going to let them take a moment to introduce themselves and say something to you on behalf of it. But again, thank you all for what you do to empower these young women and let them be a voice of this community. We thank you so much for this opportunity. And they really do have great things in store.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, my name is Lillian Lerner, and I'm the new Miss Clemson. I just want to thank you first for your time today. I just want to tell you a little bit about the Miss South Carolina and Miss America organization. The mission statement of the Miss America organization is empowering women for the world and preparing the world for great women. I have the opportunity to be part of this amazing organization, and I'm so thankful that through this organization I have gained confidence, communication skills, and the opportunity to earn scholarships to go towards my Clemson education. To speak on communication skills, my community service initiative is called Every Word Matters, and it is empowering children with essential speech services that they need for a brighter future. There are 300,000 children just in the state of South Carolina that need speech services, and there are not the resources for those children to get those services. So I'm trying to bring awareness to the subject and resources to the subject for those children to get those speech services that they are needing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Madison McKinney, and I'm currently the Miss Clemson team. I just want to first say thank you, especially to Mayor Halfaker and the rest of the council and the board of the Clemson Scholarship Pageant, just for giving not only myself but me and Lily this opportunity to to represent the city of Clemson at the Miss South Carolina pageant. And my service initiative is titled Brave Hearts in Supporting the Lives of our frontline heroes and their children. I grew up and my dad is still a firefighter, and I understand the missed time with my dad with the work schedule, and I want to show support to not only their lives but the lives of their children, because I am a child of a firefighter, so I understand. I just want to say again, thank you for giving us this opportunity. It's an honor to represent the city of Clemson and the legacy that this pageant is. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We lost our social coordinator chief, but we'll try to improvise. Photo shoot.
Nice to see another Lillian.
Oh, yes, I know. I never see that. I know, it's wonderful.
You know, I know where I'm supposed to stand. Come in. There you go. There you go.
Cheeks are starting to hurt.
Sweet.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for being here. Really
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it. Hey, family responsibilities.
Thank you so much.
So next on the agenda is to discuss updating the CAT bus agency safety plan to include FTA required updates. Brian. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, City Council. I'm here to present to you an update for our CAT bus agency safety plan, which is a requirement by FTA. It requires that we bring it before you all to look through it. The add-ons that are inside of there, you're going to see it's a complete infectious disease control plan and a few little minor updates that they have in wording along the way and updated numbers that we need for our plans going forward. Very quick read when you get through it, but we have to it's required that you all do that. Also, I'm also here to see if we can get some wording where we don't have to constantly bring it to the board, but we can go right to the executive, accountable executives, which would be Andy or Allie and myself, and make those updates without having to present them to you.
All right. Thoughts on that? Comments?
Sounds great to me.
Sounds, yeah.
I'm all for
You're
it.
getting a lot of head nods.
That's all I need.
Sounds, yeah.
There you go.
Streamline,
Unless they,
The more we
streamline it.
can make it necessary, the better.
absolutely.
I will be back with a few more things, but at least we need that.
That was great. Very short and concise. I like it. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you all.
Appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
here. All right, next on the agenda is discuss selecting a date for the CCRC joint budget work session with the town of Central, either May 12th, 19th, or 26th at 5:30. I will remind everybody that we have a city council meeting on the 19th and 26th, so just keep that in mind on those two dates. Am I correct?
Well, I
Okay.
guess that leaves just one choice, doesn't it?
No? Well, you can still have the meeting, and then we can come.
The 12th,
12th and 19th.
the 12th, 19th,
We
and
have meetings,
26th.
not on the 26th.
I thought we had it on the
I
26th.
thought the council meeting was on the, still have one on the 5th, don't we?
Wait, when did we, last meeting, we moved them around, so.
These are not your council meeting dates. These are Central's council meeting dates, and the idea was to meet over there an hour before one of their meetings.
Oh, the 5th and 9th. That was the June. Okay,
That's
thank
why
you.
they're not familiar with it.
Thank you, correction. All right, so all three are available, 12th, 19th, and 26th.
Memorial Day.
Weekend? Or is
That's
that
a
the
Mon-
Monday?
Those are all Mondays.
Oh, it's Monday. Oh,
Memorial Day Monday, right?
oh, okay.
12th or the 19th.
And so the 12th or the 19th.
Well, the 19th
The
would
hour
conflict with
meeting.
us.
Yeah.
So
I got a
12th.
council meeting on the 19th, right?
Yeah.
For us, it's gotta be the 12th. I guess it's the 12th.
Sounds like the 12th.
Because Memorial Day, you know, and then
12th is about the other day.
19th is ours, so 12th
Narrows it down.
looks like the
We've
12th.
narrowed it down to the 12th
12th.
since we have the 19th city council meeting and the 12th.
Check.
Tom?
Well, I mean, it's at 5:30, but you might need more time.
Yeah. That way we don't have to rush.
Good.
The 12th.
All right, so May 12th, 5:30. All right? Andy, I know you were taking over that, and I just jumped right in. You good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next is to discuss a proposed ordinance change to match the definition of occupant in section 1355 of our rental housing regulations to the definition found in section 19107 of the city's zoning code. Not Jacob, but Nathan. There you go.
Jacob's daughter has a class trip to the Outer Banks, so he's
Understood.
running around to Target, trying to get some supplies. What you see in front of you is our rental ordinance, which is section 13 of the municipal ordinance, and section 19 of our zoning ordinance have different definitions of occupant. We would like those to match, if at all possible. Normally, in the past, for those of you that have been here, when we typically find 6 or 7 of these and bring them all at one time. Tonight it's just the one. But as rental season approaches and our code always gets scrutinized during that time, we thought it would be good to go ahead and knock this out now. The zoning code, always the occupancy table is in the zoning code, so the zoning code trumps the rental code anyway, so this is a good fix.
So you're gonna use the first one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think consistency is very much better.
Other comments, questions for Nate? Sounds great.
I was prepared for a large discussion on consanguinity, but I'm good.
There you go. Again, concise.
Studied.
Concise.
Yeah.
Next is to discuss, I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Jones. There you go.
This is my one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this comes out of having a discussion with the city administrator in Pendleton, and I've been talking about this for a little while. We had started with the idea of seeing if there's about 30 children in Pendleton would be able to join in our rec program, and Andy and Allie have taken a look at putting it together to start a conversation with the rec board to look at greater integration in that also, but this was really about 30 kids being able to join our rec program. They have a problem with not having a good local rec program for the kids in Pendleton town. So this would be essentially 18 and under. And the discussion would go to the rec board.
Yeah, they would start off at the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, and we would need to bring some people in from Pendleton to have the conversation too. And one of the things Jay's gonna do this week is pull the participation numbers or the registrations and get a good feel for how many kids from Pendleton are already participating. So we can start off right there.
Cool. I like the idea to discuss it. I think that good neighborly relationships will serve us very well in the long term. So I like the idea of finding out those numbers, and especially with the kids starting, if we're going to open up larger to the community in the future, I think it makes sense to start with a smaller pool, integrate them in, make them feel very welcome.
And this came of some discussions that I had with Steve. Ourselves in Pendleton and Seneca have a lot in common with each other, even though we're not in the same counties. So having some and working in cooperation and collaboration helps all of us.
So it says resident, you're gonna focus first on the kids. People
18 and
under
under.
18. Yeah, that's great to figure out how many it is, and I think that's very good relationships.
Because I'm just thinking of, not to keep going on and on, but I'm thinking about, do they have rec programs with the city of Pendleton that they put on like we do?
They have a recreation association.
They do.
And the city gives that association a contribution every year, and I believe this year was like $45,000. And it's primarily parent-run. And they do all the programming and all the work. I mean, I think they even maintain the fields.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But the way this write-up is, I guess it's steps, but I mean, obviously it's starting with those 30-some-odd kids, but it could become something much bigger than that.
Potentially, but I think right now, I mean, we're just having a conversation. It's very infinitesimal.
But does Pendleton want it to become something bigger than just 30 kids?
I don't think they know what they want it to be or really know what their current need is. I think they really need to help us find out like how many of their kids are coming over here just because they don't have another place to go. And I think their council's kind of looking to us just provide some information to help them gauge to what extent they need to really be investing in recreation.
Yeah, because
Can their kids play on our?
They already are.
Well, they consider then out
Yes.
of town kids.
So it's like when we do the sign-ups, it's in the city and central, correct? They are first priority, and then once that, a lot of time passes, then it's open to the general public, which is when they could then sign up.
Normally,
Am I right?
And Nettles Park is a lot closer than other things in Anderson County.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Nettles Park is right there, so, you know,
A
with
lot of the
baseball.
rec
This could let them in.
A lot of the rec
Anderson
is
City.
there
The other
anyway,
side of the county.
so it's a lot closer.
Per sport, on average, it's like $30 more for out of city per sport.
I don't know.
It's
What
like
is the
30
difference between?
It's about $30 more, is that right?
$30 difference?
That's not,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
doable. Or,
That's what we're doing right now, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
But we've been talking about this several times.
Steve's brought it up on a staff level. We've been talking about it for a year or two.
Yes, yeah, I remember some other conversations about this in the past.
And there's a possibility of further integration on more. They do have some gymnasiums, they do have some fields and stuff, but for right now, the real pressing interest from my conversation with Steve, and I know him and Andy have talked a good bit, was really just getting the kids involved.
But are they, considering the size of the high school and the middle school, are there not more than 30 opportunities?
Oh, yeah, I would think so.
I mean, I guess I'm surprised we haven't seen more kids come over from actually all three schools, the elementary school, the middle school particularly, than 30. I guess I would think there'd be more than that, a lot more than that.
Well, once you get to middle school and high school, doesn't a lot of the kids get involved in school district run sports?
and travel ball and
And a lot of our,
American Legion.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean to speak over you. A lot of our programming is focused more at the elementary level. Like Claire essentially has aged out in her terms, you know, from the programming. So I think it's really the elementary age is the big draw for the programming that we've got.
Jay, you want to chime in on it, all this? Yeah, please.
I've got a lot
Yeah,
to say.
there you go.
But the true numbers are not 30 kids. From their winter and spring sports, there are 127 inside the city. They mentioned 350 outside the city limits. So that doesn't include the fall. So it's about 200 kids we're talking about.
Inside Pendleton town limits?
Yes,
Under 18.
yeah.
They do
30
participate.
is not right.
They do participate already in our program.
No, the Pendleton program.
Excuse me. Oh, okay.
But the Pendleton program's for the county, right?
No, the Pendleton Rec Association covers the Anderson District 4. The kids that go to their high school. The same as ours. Our programs are for the kids that go to Edwards and the Daniel High School. So, like, I take, for instance, last a fall between baseball and softball and soccer and football. They had 21 teams. For basketball, they had 25 teams. And in the spring here, they've got 25 more teams. So they have well over 600 kids that participate in the association. And I will say in 2022, there were about 100 kids from over there that played here. But they've had a changeover in the board. They have had a massive improvement, and a bunch of kids have gone back over there because they want to have Pendleton on their chest.
So sports, all those teams, what facilities, what fields are they using, what courses?
Veterans Park.
What in? Veterans?
Veterans, yes.
But for that many baseball teams?
Yes.
And football teams?
Yes. And their football, they play at the practice field at the high school. But
it's still just one field and one baseball.
No, they've got
two diamonds?
Yes.
Where do they play basketball?
At the elementary.
I mean, they got teams stacked up on top of each other constantly.
They play 4 nights a week.
I asked Steve today, I was talking to him, I said, tell me a little bit more about this association and how that would play into this, because I've noticed like him, I mean, they have a lot of civic pride in their Bulldogs, and those kids are all Bulldogs, they wear the colors and all that. And he was saying, well, would it be possible to have like the Pendleton kids separated and be Bulldogs? And I said, well, what would happen is they'd just be integrated like any other kid, and then we do evaluations and make the teams based on ability. So they'd be integrated with a whole bunch of people, and they might wear a green uniform. You know,
Which is how it works now.
Right.
Right.
So that's something you need to talk to your folks about to see if that's okay or not.
So my understanding of this, though, would be to make it an option for Pendleton residents is the goal. So if they want to be on a Pendleton team, they can choose to be on the Pendleton team. But if they wanted to participate in Clemson Central Rec sports leagues or Clemson Parks and Rec leagues, they could choose to.
We have an option now.
Currently? Okay.
So
are we?
But it wouldn't be the third, it wouldn't be
My
like
understanding was there was some cost for some of the families, but the total population of Pendleton town is 3,500 people.
Yeah.
When we're getting these numbers back, are we also looking at our capacity within?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So that, I just want to make sure, I'm sorry, real quickly, just want to make sure we're looking at the capacity of what we current, because
So, I mean,
I
for
know
us-
we're pretty tight right now.
For us to integrate this, I mean, this would be massive as far as trying to put it all together.
Sure. And we don't have enough people.
No, I mean, that's what I meant.
As it is.
You'd have to evaluate the fields, the staff, everything.
There is a major difference in our facilities and their facilities.
I understand that. Yeah. We got that. I mean, that's
Well,
part of it.
There's a difference between our population and their population. We got 18,000, they got 3,000. I'm just,
My point is,
yeah.
So why don't we take it in steps? Don't think about we're going to integrate with their entire, we don't want to pull their residents away from their association. Maybe just, it's an extra option for those kiddos, maybe not to charge them the higher amount, and look at maybe how many kids from Pendleton use our programs now with the higher surcharge, and just think about it in terms of, do we want to, first step being just not have a surcharge and consider those kids the same as Clemson. But I think you're right, the idea of like, we don't want to take over a really great, it sounds like a great association that's got a lot of pride in it. So I think.
and it is improved.
Yeah. They might have not many kids who want to take advantage, but I guess the question is to look at how many kids right now are taking advantage of. And great point that it's already less than it was.
Yes.
We're just taking one step at a time.
To play in this association now, if you're inside the city limits of Pendleton, it's $70, which is higher than ours.
Oh, interesting.
If you're outside, it's $95, which is higher than ours.
Okay.
So I'm just curious though, then why would Steve have this interest? If they've got a great organization there,
Must be cost.
yeah, maybe it's the cost.
So how much does it cost for our kids to
Out
sign?
of Clemson,
It depends on.
$90.
Yeah.
$90 for,
60
okay,
in
so still
Yes.
$5, yeah.
But the town of Pendleton, last year, they gave this association $46,000. For us to add them in, it would be way higher than that.
The operating costs.
So ask him why.
Yeah.
That's my question. Why and what do the city of Clemson get out of it?
Well, sometimes just being good neighbors is something you can get out of working with your neighboring towns.
We do that with Central, as it is.
I guess it'd be interesting to know with kids has happened over the last 5 years with all the developments you've seen.
Right,
Go essentially up 180, out 187, go
Yes.
behind that. You gotta assume there's a lot of kids that have come out of that weren't there 5 years ago. Has that
Right.
escalated the numbers?
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes. Their numbers have increased a lot.
Dramatically.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about just in-city kiddos.
And with them annexing those houses,
Yeah.
it's going up before. Their high school will be 4A, the same as ours here at Daniel. So, I mean,
Well, how about the steps are to figure out how many kids right now with the higher surcharge are taking advantage of Clemson Central Rec and the trends the last few years? And then to have
I'd be interested in the dollars that go along with that too, like,
how much we would lose
The ages,
if we
yeah.
didn't charge them
yeah.
the surcharge.
Yeah.
I don't see any downside to the
Yeah.
board sitting down and taking a look at it.
We don't want to poach from the association, I think, yeah.
and if
We don't want to add extra to us either, so it's just one step.
And depending what he wants to do with Veterans Park, if he offers that to us, then 76% of the association's kids are out of luck. They will not have any place
Yeah.
to play. And that's
So
not.
I agree,
good
separate those things. The idea of us taking over their facilities is probably separate from this. But I think that would not be
No, agreed.
desired.
Yeah.
100%.
That wasn't what I proposed
No.
anyhow.
That's,
No,
that,
I think what Steve's concern is that his council would like to do a more robust recreation program, but the problem is he'd be paying for largely providing recreation for Anderson County residents.
where Nettles is right near it.
And I think he's just looking to do something to help the in-town residents. And he says, I know it's going to be a lot more than a $46,000 investment. But you know, you can't, we haven't been, of the friend of mine, like we turn people away based on where they live when we just let you play. I think he's just trying to find a cost-effective way to do some really good programming and service for the in-town residents. But he doesn't want to he doesn't think that he can justify a $3 million department when, you know, 90% of the kids are not even residents.
Yeah, he was really clear with me that it was for in Pendleton town. That was it.
Not Wild Hog Road in Pendleton.
Yeah, inside the town limits, kind of like Clemson City being in the city limits, same kind of thing.
It's almost looking like for a fire contract that we have with the university. It's not more we get the great service, we just pay and contribute a share to it.
So having some conversations about that, Mike.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to get some more feedback from him on what his ideas were and numbers.
So you feel comfortable about next steps?
We've had these conversations before.
Okay.
That's all
But you bring the information back about the number and the trends, that would be very helpful. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Unless there's other, unless there's other comments or questions? No, all right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you. All right. Next is staff reports. Andy.
Start off with letting you know that just before the meeting started, Councilmember Smith let me know that she has been sick, and at the same time, she had to put her dog down this morning.
Oh.
She's having a bad day.
Yes, she is.
Pickens County Municipal Association's tomorrow night in Central, 6:45 at Town Hall. And you have the Municipal Association training this Thursday.
Is it Thursday or Friday? Thursday.
I believe it's Thursday at noon. And trying to read what this is. Yeah, the free clinic on Thursday is having a celebration for 20 years of service in the community. So they're having a drop-in on Thursday afternoon from 4 to 7. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Next, we'll go into policy action. Just a reminder, 2-minute limit per speaker. If you come up, first is to consider second reading of an amendment to Chapter 244 regarding public comments at meetings. Councilmember Bedlar.
Yes, so, hang on, let me make sure I find the right, okay. This is the second time we've looked at this, but I wanted to point out that last time we voted, it did not include the language about city council authorizing one extension of 2 minutes. This is regarding public comment and us allowing the extension to be made. So when we did vote before, it didn't include that language. It does now, so we would be voting the second time with amended language if we decided to do that. So I just wanted to point that out before we went into it. Otherwise, nothing has changed. I also feel it's important to say I haven't gotten any other comments or emails or phone calls about this, which I take as a good sign that we've answered very clearly what our intention is here. So, yeah.
Comments? Questions? Comments from the public? Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the amended language in the second reading of the amended Chapter 2-44C regarding public comments at meetings.
Second.
Get that out.
That was kind of hesitation second, but okay. Any comments? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank y'all very much for the leadership on that. Next is consider second reading of proposed map amendment, rezoning 00406-2025 Highway 93 parcels. Nathan.
Hey, there is nothing different than the last time we spoke about this. I mentioned last time that we received clarity regarding student housing on this parcel, and that's all I have. I also have the engineer here if there's any in-depth questions, but otherwise, I should be good.
Thank you. Comments, questions? Great. Comments from the public? Would somebody like to make a motion then?
I make a motion that we approve the second reading of proposed map amendment rezoning RZNE 0004006-2025 Highway 93 parcels.
Second?
It's like a race over here. It's a race. Okay, any comments? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Next is other policy items. Consider the addition of the Lawrence Road, 1 Clemson property to the Parks Master Plan. Jay, you get to come back up here.
No change from 2 weeks ago.
Questions, comments for Jay? Comments from the public? Would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the addition of the Lawrence Road 1 Clemson property to the Parks Master Plan.
Comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. Next is consider awarding the conceptual design and construction documents. Look, I'm having a hard time now. Documents, I think it's contagious. Contract for the Abernathy Park redevelopment project to MKSK Incorporated in the amount of $236,100 for conceptual design and a flat fee of 8% the estimated project construction costs for construction documents. Nathan.
Evening. So this is the same firm that y'all approved for us to enter into negotiations with earlier this year. This is the final contract. We're thinking we can get it done in about 6 to 9 months, construction documents. The goal with this project is to be following right behind the sewer project in Abernathy to redevelop the park. So we think we have a really good team, and they're committed to making sure we get a good product at the end of it.
So this is, the goal of this is to give us the vision, how to execute on the physical changes.
So this is like going from where we are right now to conceptual design for where we hope to go. Really looking at a budget and kind of taking that concise and taking that conceptual design to actual construction documents that we can put out to bid.
To give instructions
to actually build it.
So we'll have an opportunity though, if council chooses to make changes, modifications, et cetera.
There's multiple opportunities for public input, including ones specific just for elected officials.
But then also, so right now, even though we've set somewhat of a budget, that doesn't necessarily mean that is the final budget.
That is the budget we're using for design.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
They'll be reviewing plans, providing feedback at certain stages as we progress.
Right.
It's not gonna be like 95%, then here it is.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I understand that, but I just, if we have an opportunity, if it's not exactly what we think or how we think it should be, and I realize it has long-term budget impacts too, but I also know that some of us are very, very committed to making certain that Abernathy Park looks a certain way when it's all said and done. I mean, everybody's committed, but some of us are probably a little bit more committed than others.
A little post-traumatic syndrome there. A little post-traumatic syndrome going on over here.
Flashback, more flashbacks.
All right, we're gonna keep moving forward. Any other comments for Nathan from the public? I know, Nathan, you got 4 more items, so that's why you're 5.
I hope you wear comfortable shoes.
Can I knock it down? Okay. Well, that's 4 more.
Okay, then I can count.
That's right. You're looking at the banker here, sorry. All right, comments from the public. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we consider awarding the conceptual design and construction documents contract for the Abernathy Park redevelopment project to MKSK Inc. in the amount of $236,100 for conceptual design and a flat fee of 8% the estimated project construction cost for construction documents.
Second.
Comments?
Quick question before we keep going, sorry.
Oh,
That
sorry.
dollar amount, that won't change for this piece of the process, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
There might be some minor changes.
But nothing that we're gonna if we go through something like in a review, that's not gonna change.
Those are built in. There's steps and periods. I mean, as you get closer, you get more refined.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, if we have major changes, that's when those are made and meant to be molded.
Cool, thank you.
This is a silly question, but the flat fee of 8%, is that how that's usually done? It's just a flat rate?
This is, traditionally, it's about, a really good example is for the estimate for the state, it's about 12%. Sometimes we ask for a rate just similar to like the 236.
Okay.
Other times, the firm that is partnered with MKSK is offered a flat rate to be based off of the budget. So,
Okay,
but
okay.
it's very similar and
Okay.
comparable to what we'd see otherwise in any other engineering design.
Perfect, thank you,
Commercial design often runs between 8 and 12. It's kind of normal numbers.
thank you.
Thanks for clarifying. All right. If there are not any other comments, would somebody like to make a motion? Oh, we just did. Yes.
And I,
Second. All right, no other comments. All in favor? Yeah, you threw me off on that. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you very much. Next, Nathan, don't read your hand. Consider awarding the base bid and all 5 bid alternates of the 2025 road resurfacing project to King Asphalt for $1,583,281. Sorry. And please, Nathan, please clarify where this is all has transpired over the years to get to this.
Sure. So I'm sure y'all were familiar, about 2 years ago, we reallocated the millage rate, because we dedicate 2 mills to paving, reallocated that to the Old Stone, Old Cherry. Before that, because of COVID and other interests, other reasons, we've not spent all of our money, so we've been able to we've been able to pull some as well. So when the ARPA money came out, it gave us the opportunity to really look at holistically fixing roads, so fixing the infrastructure and then fix underground that no one sees, and then fixing the roads right above them. So when we looked at our 7 focus areas, we looked at worse roads, worse infrastructure, and kind of narrowed that whole pocket down. And then, so all of these, except for bid alternate 1, which is Chapman Hill Road, have been touched either with water and sewer, and some with stormwater replacements done before at least 6 months before we have planned to repave it. So from the date that we put it out to bid, we'd closed that focus area of the project about at least 6 months ahead of time. So all of these have had water sewer work done on them. We've looked at pavement quality, there's different pavement reclamation practices that we're using throughout this whole process, and for each of the different bid alternates, which would basically, those bid alternates relatively are similar to the focus areas. The only one that is not, that kind of extends past, there's 2 of them. Bid alternate 5, the College Street widening, so we replaced the water down Calhoun Street, but the water and sewer on College Street have been replaced about 10 to 15 years ago, so it was in good condition. We just have some lagging work that needs to be done there. And then for roads, back in 2015, we replaced the water, but we did not replace the sewer. But so this has been a project we've done in 2015, 2019, I think 2020 as well. The sewer, we were able to finish off the sewer for the roads that we're going to repave with ARPA money. So
We're doing everything in the right order and then paving.
correct. We're trying not to cut.
Right.
And thank you for that very detailed summary for everybody. I appreciate that. My quick question, and since we now enhance the website, will this be on the website if it's approved? The steps on, yes.
Once we award and we start talking with our, with if King is awarded, what our plan is to talk with them, get a schedule, and we'll have the schedule updated on the website to show, similar to the maps that we have right here, but with actual dates associated with it, so that if you're interested, and then I don't know if anyone's familiar with when they repaved Kingsway back in October. We had multiple issues with rain delays, weather delays. Helene hit, and so, but they're very communication forward. They make sure that they notify us, hey, we can't fit you in our schedule until, and they just kind of keep that up to date. We were able to keep the residents up to date based off that information we were received, and we'll do the same thing with the new website.
Thank you.
So bravo on the new website. I've gotten that question from people, what is the paving schedule? I think that's going to be great to have every street listed, every date listed, and just when it changes. We use social media for that, so I think that's exciting. Yeah. Thank you.
Can you explain why we waited at least 6 months after we do a utility project to pave?
Sure. So the quick answer is drive down Riggs Drive. And you'll see the shadow. It's basically the shadow settlement. So when you put in any pipe, any underground utility, you can never compact as good as what they call in situ, which was before. And so because of that, you're going, and as cars drive over it, as trucks drive over it, our trash trucks, as buses drive over it, you get what's called shadow cracking. And so it literally forms a trough where the patch was. Traditionally, we see that even with our best, and I will say that we try our hardest to keep that from happening, but it's going to happen. Normally we see that happen within 6 months to the extent where you can then bridge over top of it with new asphalt, and it will hold for the life period of the new asphalt that we're putting down.
Makes sense.
I'm still got an awful lot of heavy stuff coming down Red, going back up.
Sure.
And Mitchell and into Y back in there. Hopefully that'll be done by the time you guys.
Construction.
It's all kind of stuff going on with a lot of big dump trucks and loads and everything. I got to ask about Chapman Hill. So now I'm fine with that, but I guess I'm curious, have all that construction work gone, is finished back in there now?
What I would say is substantially complete. They're in the, like, kind of the minor, they have several, I think they have about 10% of the houses complete remaining. But for the phases that have been approved, they're about 10% remaining for their major construction left.
Okay.
Isn't there a whole nother phase?
Well, I think their future work's all gonna come in off of Road 18.
That was, okay.
And then the way that we're reclamating that portion of Chapman Hill Road is actually what mill in place. So if you remember driving down Issaquena, that was what they call cement modified reclamation base. We're not putting the cement in, but we are basically completely milling the entire road and the subsurface, compacting it, and then compacting it as though we were building a new road, and then we're going to overlay it with asphalt. So one of the issues that we have with that road is in patches, there's no base. So basically we're using the existing asphalt to develop our new base for us. So it should be a good road.
Okay. Other comments, questions? From the public? Comments, questions? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we award the base bid and all 5 bid alternates to the 2025 road resurfacing project to King's Asphalt for $1,580,281.
Second.
Okay. Any other comments? I will say we use acronyms a lot, which is Natural ARPA, American Rescue Funds. I don't remember the exact American Planned Act. Thank you. I'm just trying to.
Sure.
When
Sorry.
I hear acronyms.
If I say an acronym, please.
Well, same
ask.
with me. I do it too. So thank you for breaking that down. All right. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right. Thank you, Nathan. Next, consider awarding the Abel Road Curtis Circle Sidewalk Improvement Project. How do they pronounce it? Trace?
Yeah.
Clearing and grading for $864,998 with a contingency not to exceed $80,000.
So we've been working on this project since about 2023. Initially, it was going to be just between Rotary Park and Little John Community Center, based off of the community need that we've seen. We were able to secure a CDBG grant, which is a Community Development Block Grant, basically taking the funds that we had already allocated to this project to extend the project to be able to take the entire length of Abel Road, including Raven Lane. We've had 2 community meetings with this. We got the environmental back in like October, November, I think. And so we're just trying to move forward, getting the project going. We got approved about 2 weeks ago for allowing, Commerce has allowed us to take the project to the next step, which is awarding to the contractor. We will have a community neighborhood meeting that we're planning right now, and then start from there.
So this is all of Abel and Curtis Circle and Raven Lane.
So it's, the reason it says Curtis Circle is because initially when we applied for the grant,
Right.
Curtis Circle was on there. Based off the community feedback we got, they did not want.
I thought that I remembered something like that, okay.
But one of the things that they did ask for is a bus shelter.
Right.
And so the bus shelter will be at what I'm gonna call the lower entrance to Curtis Circle, which is the closest one to Highway 93. But
So we're not doing anything on Curtis?
Besides just the sidewalk that goes past it.
We are doing sidewalk, okay, cool. Oh, that goes past it, I see. Okay, well, if that's what they want.
Is that cat bus and school bus shelter or school bus only?
Just school bus. Cat bus only runs down 93.
Getting there, county places.
Other comments, questions from the public? Somebody, oh, yeah.
When do you see starting on this project?
They have indicated that as soon as we have the public meeting, they are ready to start. So I see early May.
Okay, super.
So you're looking at, you're into, sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask when you plan to do that public meeting.
Next week.
Got it, okay, cool.
We have everything planned, if you approve it, to put notification out tomorrow.
Is that just like an informational
All right, so
meeting?
you haven't established a date for that yet?
The 29th at 5:30. We haven't nailed it down, but we're waiting. We were having to wait for today to be able to.
Just make sure, if you don't mind, send it to city council so they can, we can all share it.
And that's just an informational meeting to give everybody details on what's gonna be happening.
Correct.
And I know we have a wonderful public information officer that will also help with that, so thank you.
We'll be creating a story map like we did for the downtown project with the QR code that everyone can share. Post
Awesome.
it.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, just someone I said, and because John got that comment in, so all right, would somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion that we approve awarding the Able Road Curtis Circle Sidewalk Improvement Project Trays clearing and grading for $864,998 with a contingency not to exceed $80,000.
Second. All right. Comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you very much. Final two, Nathan. Consider awarding a contract for the development of an engineering design manual to Weston and Sampson in the amount of $86,900.
So this is the same group that we brought for negotiations earlier this year. We've talked with them. We feel confident in the product. That we're both them and us feel confident in the product, and we've talked to city staff to make sure that they're ready for a pretty intense 6 months of talking about details and making sure that we have everything nailed down correctly, which we're hoping will long-term make design decisions within the city a lot easier for everybody. So.
You actually just pinpointed my comment, making sure everybody was engaged from the city side, employee. That's great. Thank you. That was easy. Other comments? Comments from the public? Would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we award the contract for the development of the engineering design manual to Weston and Sampson in the amount of $86,900.
Second.
All right, comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Next is consider approving a contract for the downtown environmental monitoring contract to Rogers and Callick. Okay, now Alliance Technical Group for $117,000.
So we've been working with Rogers for 2 years now. They did our monitoring wells, we did our initial assessment for phase 2, then like phase 2.2.5. One of their recommendations that they got from negotiations with DHEC, which is now DES, the Department of Environmental Services, they asked that we excavate the area where the presumed tanks were, where we actually have the leak, remove the soil, take that to be treated, and then put an oxygen release treatment in the bottom of that hole, fill it back up. The goal is that it should break down any existing contaminants before and then reduce our monitoring costs long term. The cost, this 117 cost was built into Hogan's cost estimate that they provided for the downtown building. So this would be a subtract from the building with having Alliance do the work for us instead.
Comments and questions for Nathan?
What's the plan on doing, like, once we approve this, if we approve this, when would we want this to take place?
So there's a lot of moving parts. There's 4 contractors in the same area that are gonna be starting here this summer. They're probably gonna be starting as soon as possible, so we'll probably be removing that temporary building fairly soon.
Will it interrupt any of our programming that we have planned for, like, on the Ave and everything?
Yes.
It'll be behind it? Or will we just put the van in a different place?
Lindsay, actually, I asked her that before, and she said they were moving it down.
Oh, cool.
Because the nature of where the streetscape is, where the building is, we're going to impact on the app. So, but we've already been scheduling and working on a plan for how we're going to address that.
Other comments from the public?
Sorry, I'm just really excited about all the items.
It's coming up. All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the contract for the downtown environmental monitoring contract to Rogers and Colcott, AKA Alliance Technical Group, for $117,000.
Second.
Any other comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it. Next is mayor, council reports, comments, new business. I'm gonna, if y'all don't mind, real quickly, I will share a couple things. And this actually came out at the end of March, but just to give everybody the benefit of the rowing season, when it was over at the end of March, they had 1,131 athletes, 100 coaches across 26 teams that came through Clemson during the month of March, and obviously created an economic wave throughout the Clemson area. So just FYI, Allie just mentioned the QR codes. These are great. Again, I'm going to reemphasize this. I mean, I get a lot of, at least I have, I assume other people have too, the feedback showing the project itself, scanning the QR code, knowing the timeline, things like that. And if you've noticed on our Facebook, other sites, the website, we've been fortunately recognized a couple times, voted top 10 small college town. And what was the recent one today that you put out?
Top prettiest.
Prettiest?
In Appalachia.
Thank you for sharing. Yep. So I'm just sharing that for everybody's benefit. So,
We already knew that though, didn't we?
that's right. There you go. All right. Other comments? I'm the only one talking. All right.
Well, can I give a shout out?
Yeah, that's what it's for.
I would like to give a shout out for the Friday night baseball game at Stanford. 26 young men from Virginia Beach High School and their 4 coaches came down on their spring break to go to Alabama and stopped in Clemson, went to a game, and I just want to give a shout out to the Fighting Falcons, very well behaved and baseball enthusiast young men. They all sat around me, and I really enjoyed them, and I hope they had a great time in Clemson.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Any other comments? I will remind everybody this weekend is Savannah Bananas, first time on ESPN if I'm not mistaken. So Saturday night, please have patience if you're driving, because it'll be interesting leaving the event. But please have patience for our first responders that do a fabulous job. But I know it'll be a great family event Saturday. So, and thank you for promoting it throughout just the community. So thank you very much.
I'm going to add, Andy just sent out an email about JCUAB rosters, and I just happened to be glancing at it, but there's a lot of names of people here that are no longer on council. So, and I just also realized that we can sign up for more than
24. John, there's 24, and then there's 25.
Right, but I'm just still saying there's still some names in there that need to be filled in. Right. So, anyway.
And one other thing I just got, I don't normally, just popped up text, I don't normally, but this is worth sharing. Pickens County just approved $147,000 to the Clemson City Rec Department. So.
Where's Jay?
Where's Jay's already.
Lindsay?
I just let so Claiborne just shared this, that $147,000 was approved to send to Clemson City Rec, so from Pickens County. So anyway, great news. Please, I'll send a text to Joe.
All right, going back to
That was from Claiborne.
Councilman Fulmer's comment. Let's make sure we all get signed up for Clemson University City JCUAB. If you're not on committee now, let's everybody get on one.
Humanities needs one, and Public Works needs one. I may have missed, but those are clear there. Yeah, transportation needs one.
All right, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. No other reports, comments, new business? All right. Next is possible going into executive session to consider appointment to the Police Advisory Board, South Carolina Code Section 3470A1. Would somebody like to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, we will be back. Okay. All right, would somebody like to make a motion to go back into regular session?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments, discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Caroline Beatty for the Police Advisory Board, serving in the Clemson University student position for a one-year term.
Second.
Comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Do we have a second?
I'd like to
Second motion.
nominate Ava Ross for a position on the Police Advisory Board for 1 year as a Daniel student representative.
Second.
Okay, comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Any comments, any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Sounds so exciting.
Have a great week.